I'm feeling love. I'm gonna look back and all of this someday, and I'm gonna love you. Even though it hurts me now, I know the things will feel me true. Even though it hurts me now, I know that you will do me good.
Aloha. Good evening. This is Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona, for Spiritual Productions on Blog Talk Radio and FreeConferencing.com, and now Ustream, establishing and maintaining right relationships with the Zoom Valley. Aloha, welcome to tonight's Aloha Live. Tonight we're doing a special 2016 MUFON Symposium series. Tonight we're featuring Rich Hoffman in the 2013 Aguadilla Puerto Rico UAP case. Tonight, and what it is that there's going to be a symposium going on in August, and so we're going to be interviewing for the next 3 weeks a number of speakers from the symposium. And tonight, we're beginning with Rich Hoffman, all the way out of where do you live at, Rich? Aloha.
Hi, in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, Alabama, that's right, I forgot. And just to let you guys know, let me see, join MUFON researchers and investigators at the 2016 MUFON Symposium, UFOs from our oceans to outer space, from the 25th to the 28th of August in Orlando, Florida. MUFON Mutual UFO Network is a scientific study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity. Its mission is to investigate UFO sightings and enter the data onto the MUFON database for use by researchers worldwide to promote research on UFOs and discover the true nature of the phenomena with an eye towards scientific breakthroughs and improving life on our planet, and to educate the public on the UFO phenomena with its potential impact on society. Rich Hoffman has been investigating the UFO phenomena for over 52 years. He grew up in Dayton, Ohio, the home of Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force project that was in place from 1952 to 1969. At age 15, he appeared on a Phil Donahue show in Dayton, Ohio, I'm assuming. Is that correct, Phil? I mean, Rich?
Yes.
Okay, and became known as the local UFO expert, which quickly propelled him into presenting to associations, churches, and many other organizations, and appeared on TV and radio. Currently, he is the state director for Alabama, the director of MUFON Strategic Projects, and recently was the SAR team manager. Rich is also a member of the NARCAP, the Planetary Society, and his current employer is by Light, a defense contractor firm supporting the Army Material Command headquarters located in Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. In the 2013 Aguadilla Puerto Rico UAP case study, the presentation focuses on the evening of April 25, 2013, in which a set of unusual events took place at the Rafael Hernandez Airport in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, that resulted in a Customs Border Patrol Dash 8 turning on its infrared camera to record an unidentified object that had no transponder and was visible as a light peak red until it came close to the shoreline. The Scientific Coalition for Ufology prepared a 162-page scientific paper, which has been vetted by NARCAP, Sigma 38FF, and others, and is available for review. at www.explorescu.org, explorescu.org. For more on the 2016 MUFON Symposium, you can go to www.mufonsymposium.com. And for more on Rich Hoffman, you can go to www.mufon.com/Alabama. So, and we're going to talk to Rich Hoffman here in a few minutes. Right now, what I want to do is to give a big aloha to all of our underwriters, beginning with Mahadikini Lorraine at www.mahadikini.com. Mahadikini Lorraine's life has been a personal journey exploring sexuality and spirituality for over 20 years. She's a certified tantra counselor and tantra teacher, and a certified mind sound teacher. Mahadikini Lorraine is also a graduate of Margona year-long sky dancing tantra facilitator training program and is a current member of the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists Club, as well as a charter member of the Association of Sexual Energy Professionals. She regularly attends trainings and conferences to keep current with the latest research and information on sexual education. And then we have the 90-day Ascension journey at www.90dayascensionjourney.com. When you sign up for the 90-day Ascension journey, you will be facilitated with defining and redefining your soul true life purpose. You will be assisted with finding out what Ascension means to you. On this journey, you will be provided with tools, techniques, and assistance to empower you to connect and reconnect with your soul, yourself, and your emotions, demons in your mind, body, and spirit. Your universal soul-centered process, you will be going through a lifelong transformation that will allow you to move forward with your endeavors and never look back, as you hear. And finally, we do, and just to let you know, if you go to that website page, I wrote a book to supplement this journey, and so you can check that out, and maybe that'll help out as well. We also have the MUFON Symposium 2016 at www.mufonsymposium.com. The 2016 MUFON Symposium, UFOs from Oceans to Outer Space, is the 47th annual International UFO Symposium sponsored by MUFON. This year's event features outstanding UFO researchers and investigators from all over the world, sharing their insights on UFOs, where they're from, what they are, and what this means for mankind. Join Andrew, myself, and I, and other scientific-minded people for a great event in Orlando, Florida, from the 25th to the 28th of August of this year. So anyhow, I want to thank all of you for being here. In the meantime, I want to get back to Rich Hoffman, and thank you for being here, Rich. I appreciate your time. I know, and if you can just kind of give us an overview of who Rich Hoffman is, and then and how you got to doing what you do now, and then just kind of bring us up to par. How's that?
Okay, well, anyway, I got started in 1964. I was age 13 years old. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, and what I didn't know at the time when I was very young was that I was going to get disengaged in this subject. But I went to an 8th grade science class, and we were supposed to do a 10-minute presentation on a subject, and so I put my name next to a thing called UFOs, and I had no idea what they were. Ultimately, when I did my book report, I still really wasn't very much interested in them, but anyway, I got a D on that wonderful report because I didn't really very much with it. So I got a wonderful D on the report, and then I went home and I was watching Walter Cronkite come on the news, and he was talking about a landing of an object that was in Socorro, New Mexico, and this was April 24th, 1964, and that kind of like hit me like broadside, because it was like, wow, there was a lot of like indications of like a physical presence by this object, and then I thought, well, there's a lot to it. There's a credible police officer who saw it. So a couple days later, I went with my aunt to a bookstore, and I actually bought a real good book on the subject. And it was called the Report on Unidentified Flying Objects by Captain Edward Ruppelt, the former head of Project Blue Book. And I didn't know what that was, but I started reading it. And come to find out that this Air Force project is right up the road from me in Dayton, Ohio, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And And so that just, kind of like made me very, very interested in it. And so I thought, well, I think I was kind of hooked at that point because and so I started collecting newspaper clippings. I started getting everything that I could get on it, and I just, began that massive collection of reading. And then somebody had invited me to go and do a talk at I think it was a museum or something like that. And so I did a talk there, and the next thing I knew, I was doing talks around the city of Dayton for other groups. They wanted me to come talk about it. And then, of course, you mentioned already, but Phil Donahue was in Dayton at the time, and I got on his show, and that was I was 15 years old. So, bottom line then I just took off as being the local kind of like guy on UFOs to check with. I joined MUFON right after they just joined. The Air Force closed Project Blue Book in the latter part of 1969 and early 1970. And Blue Book got its start, MUFON got its start as the Midwest UFO Network right around when Project Blue Book ended. In fact, they got started in May of 1969. And so I had heard about them, and I decided to join them. And so I've been with MUFON over the years in various capacities. When I was in Dayton, I was the state section director. I was in charge of UFO investigations in the city of Dayton and around the whole area. And then it progressed from there. And then when I moved, I relocated with the base relocation and closure. The BRAC moved from Washington, D.C. I came down to Alabama here in Huntsville, and they had a need for really for a state director, and I became the state director after a period of time. And then now I'm working as a director for the MUFON organization overall, and I'm on the Science Review Board Top 10 committee as well. So we investigate a lot of cases. I've got a field investigators. I hold monthly meetings. I just had one yesterday, as a matter of fact, here in Alabama. And I just spent most all my life, pretty much engaged in this subject.
Nice. And so, well, let me ask you this, Rich, and I don't know that I ran across this at all yet, but did you have any personal sightings yourself with UFOs or aliens, or even ghosts or anything like that?
I never had a sighting of a UFO myself. I've been to places where they've landed. So in other words, I was out I've been out in the fields where there's a 70-foot diameter area that's been baked 2 feet in the ground. In the middle of a wheat field, and there's pup wheat around the perimeter of that 70-foot area where there's no wheat anymore. So when you have that kind of experience, if you have like an aha moment, I didn't even need to see one, And then I began talking with others about the subject. I've never seen a ghost. I was called. After somebody announces you as being a UFO investigator, the next thing you know is you get calls from everybody saying that, hey, I got Bigfoot in my backyard. Hey, I got in my house or something. And I went out on a couple calls, but I really was never that much interested in them. When I was up in the D.C. area, there was a group called TAPS that contacted me. They wanted me to be on their show. They had a real popular TV show where they did ghost hunting, and I could have gone that way, but I decided that that there's too many other mysteries, and people have that interest, and let them have that, and I'll just stick with the UFO subject. So that's how I pretty much handled it over the years.
Got it. So, and what about your parents? What growing up? What did your parents do growing up, Rich?
What did they do?
Yeah. What was their professions? Yeah.
Oh, well, my mom, basically was like working as a housekeeper for the hospital, and my my father was working in the food service at NCR in Dayton, Ohio.
Got it. And so, and when you were doing all this, what did they say about you when you were doing all this? Or how did they feel about what you were doing?
Well, they were more curious than anything else. My mom, kind of like shakes her head every time they say I'm going to be doing something with it, but she's proud of me for doing it. And she's seen me do it over the years. And my dad passed away in 1989, and but basically, he was always, you got a kick out of the fact that I would be on like TV or radio shows, but neither one of them are really, like much into the subject. Like I am, of course.
Got it. So they were supportive of your efforts, but they didn't participate or anything like that. Is that what you hear you saying?
Oh, very true. Very true. Yeah, and that's currently the situation with my wife as well.
Now, did you have brothers and sisters, or how did that go?
Yeah, I have a brother and a sister. I mean, I was the oldest of the three kids, and my sister's about 3 years younger than I am, and my brother was about 9 years or 10 years younger. And so I really, my younger sister was more, I was closer to her than I was my younger brother. But, yeah, and again, it's like they didn't really have much interest in it. I'm the strange oddity. I'm the oddity of the entire family.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to, because sometimes, families share some of the experiences and they understand what's going on, and sometimes, like you, they just stay out of the way and then let you do what you're doing and go from there. But it's like that. So anyhow, so when were you one of the first MUFON members? When MUFON first started getting up and going, or when they started, were you one of the first people to be involved with MUFON?
No, I wasn't the first. They started the Midwest UFO Network, like I said, in about May of 1969. I didn't learn about them until I think it was like right around the latter part of that year. And so they probably had already had members signed up and stuff like that. And I signed up, and I think that they listed me as being some sort of like an astronomy guy or something like that, my membership.
Oh, really?
And anyway, and so I ended up, getting in before, right after that, and doing them, like I said, ever since.
Well, inevitably, compared to where I'm at now, and when I enrolled, you were one of the first, one of the first members. Because if it didn't start to 1969, and you were one of those people that started, that signed up around 1969, absolutely, you were one of the first people that was involved with MUFON. So that's interesting to note.
Yeah.
So you've been with MUFON a very long time. So over the years, what are some of the changes or some of the things that you've seen MUFON do that were really instrumental in working in helping mankind with their endeavors and whatever else?
Well, I think that, UFO organizations in general have struggled. They're all, like, if you take a look at it, even before MUFON, there were like organizations like SuNite and APRO, and they all struggle because they're all dependent upon donations and things like that. It's all volunteer based. MUFON is a charitable organization, of 501c3 organization, and so it has to rely on getting members, and that's how we get funds, and then we get funds so we can actually, do more. But because it's a grassroots kind of like organization, and most of us, are just volunteering our time, and even me, I'm a director, and I'm volunteering my time, and I've always done that. We're people that are, pretty dedicated to the subject to be able to stick in this long and really not get any kind of money for it. the bottom line is that, you know, the organization has gone through lots of leadership changes, and so that prompts changes in the way organizations come together and the things that they do, and there's been some ups and downs with the organization, but overall, you know, Jan Harzen has been doing a good job with it, and I applaud his efforts, and I want to help him out. And I've seen some very positive changes more recently than they've had in some of the previous years. Wolf Andrus was the initial director of MUFON back in the days, and he had excellent people like John Schuessler and others that were all part of the organization. And it was a very strong organization at the time because it was picking up where the Air Force had left off. I mean, Air Force was getting out of the UFO thing, and MUFON was picking up. And so suddenly we could start to get phone calls, and we could start to do the investigations ourselves. And so MUFON has grown, you know, largely from that. I think over the years it's developed a lot of different boards and various other kinds of things. It's got committees that it's trying to craft. That it's trying to do very, very good things. And it's an international organization now, as opposed to the Midwest UFO Network in Quincy, Illinois. You know, and so it's definitely, you know, definitely gone international. And you know, we just last 2 years we had our own TV show that was on History Channel called Hangar One. We tried that out. I think we're going to be trying to get into the more TV shows in a different capacity than we did. But we have on radio shows weekly, or I'm not sure if it's weekly, but it's like periodic. I think it once a month maybe. And we've got, you know, our website's increased and improved. We now have, you know, a database redesign that we're working on for our collection of our information. We're better about getting that information. The MUFON Journal has gone through a transformation over what it was initially, and it's definitely improved in my mind over where it's been in the past. So there's all kinds of good stuff. The symposiums are really, really good. Not quite as many people coming. I had the one in 1978 in Dayton, Ohio that I hosted. I know it was over 3,000 people that came to it, and generally we've been getting about, right now, about 600 to maybe like 700 people attending.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been to a number of MUFON events, including some of the local chapter meetings here in Sedona and Phoenix, and then I attended the International Symposium in Vegas a few years ago. So yeah, I was there. Yeah. I guess I didn't meet you then, because I don't remember meeting you there, but yeah, I did meet a number of people there, and it was kind of interesting. But so and I don't know how much longer we got, but we're just going to go with it. So tell us about this case that you're talking about, Rich, the 2013 Aguadilla Puerto Rico UAP case. Kind of lay down a foundation and then give us an overview about what's going on, and kind of give us an update as well. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, generally, what the case is about is it was a case that happened back in April 25th, 2013, and let me set this up for you a little bit. About 9 o'clock in the evening, it had been a nice, warm day. I think it was 8 degrees, and this is getting about 9 o'clock, and suddenly there's a whole bunch of radar returns that are off into the Atlantic Ocean, off the coastline, right where Aguadilla, or actually north of Aguadilla, actually is the Rafael Hernandez Airport. The Rafael Hernandez Airport used to be the U.S. Military base. It was the Rainy Air Force Base. And that was back in the days when they had stack bombers and everything else. But it transitioned, like most airports, from military to a commercial. And just so happened that a Customs and Border Protection aircraft took off from the Rafael Hernandez Airport at about 9, maybe like about 9:15 or 9:16 or something of that nature in the evening. But again, there were these radar returns that were off on the coast that were being, not actually being witnessed, but air traffic control might have seen it over in San Juan. We don't know. But we later got the radar data and we could actually confirm that these things were popping up. But anyway, so the plane takes off and it's heading on an easterly heading, and it's getting ready to make a circle, counterclockwise circle around the base, around the airport. And so it, as it gets up to about maybe 800 feet or so, it looks over and sees this light. They see a pinkish red kind of like light that's coming in from the north, from the water, toward the airport. And they, like that, why weren't, they got a little bit concerned about that, because that the control tower didn't tell them anything about that. And so here's this air traffic that's coming in. And so anyway, the control tower said that they also saw the light as well, the pinkish red light, as well as the crew aboard the aircraft. Well, anyway, bottom line was that the light suddenly goes out. And now they're wondering, what is this? Is this a drug smuggler or somebody that's trying to come in? What is this? And of course, being like Homeland Security, well, they're kind of concerned about that, and so they did one big, huge counterclockwise circle around the airport. And then at one point, when the light goes out, the pilot notifies the other guy, the fourth crew member aboard the plane, to turn on the thermal imager infrared camera, and so he does. And they begin then videoing, basically for 3 minutes and 54 seconds, an object that comes in and seems to be going at a pretty good fast-paced clip. And it comes and circles around the airport runway, and then goes again counterclockwise, and it's now heading toward the water, approximately where it actually came in from, and you see it basically descend, and it gets down to the point where it's now like right next to the shore, right next to the shoreline, and then you see the water in the video, the infrared in the video, and then you see the object apparently go into the water, or it disappears, and then you see what appears to be that this object is now moving underneath the water. It then pops up once, and then goes back down again, and then comes back up again. And when it comes back up again, it gets really, really dark. It increases in darkness. And in infrared video, the darker is, the hotter that it is, because you're looking at heat.
Got it.
And so when you see black in the video, it's heat or hot, and when you see white, it's toward the cold. Anyway, the bottom line there is that the object now comes up and it splits into two identical objects, if you would. And it's still moving in its pace above the water, and then you see that other one kind of go into the water, and the other one, the initial one, hangs up a little bit, and then it also descends into the water and disappears. And then you see the camera operator going around and around looking for it, and he can't find it. Well, anyway, bottom line was that this was in April of 2013. The video was first seen by one of our team members the following month, and they got the chance to see the video. And then they started talking about it with others, And we felt we needed to start and develop a team. And so we got a team of people together, all 6 of us all together, and most all of us had like degrees in science and various other things. And we started to then go through and we dedicated ourselves to analyzing that video because it's, and we actually got a copy of it, by the way, later that year. I can't remember the exact month. I think it was like, maybe like November or September or something like that. But bottom line is we get a copy of the original video and we can start to break that out and do the analysis. So we spent, 2 years basically dedicated to studying every aspect. We broke the video into 7,027 frames.
Wow.
And we looked at every one of those, and we followed and we measured the speed of the object based upon even down to the pixel level of how fast it was moving. The camera itself has a whole lot of wonderful data on it, and so if you look at the video, which by the way is on that website, that explorestu.org.
Yeah, I did. I got a chance to look at it, and it was in black and white. And that object was moving awfully fast for an object to
Yeah.
in the camera. And so but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the speed varied over its flight, but it generally went from everywhere from like 117 miles down to the slowest speed being 40 miles when it was popping up out of the water. When just before it hit the water, it actually did hit the water, and then basically it slowed down its speed, but it picked back up again as it was moving through the water, and so it was roughly, even in the water, was going about 85 miles an hour.
I was gonna say, because even in the water it was moving pretty fast, so that was pretty interesting. See that?
Yeah. So I mean, bottom line is like I said, we spent a lot of time looking into this video and analyzing it. We started documenting as much as we could, and we ended up with a 162-page paper, which is also on that website, and people can download and read the paper. So it's got quite a bit of information to it. It's got like about 47 actually pages that are dedicated to the case, and then there's all these appendices that are back in the back that help go into more detail. But we were able to do a Freedom of Information Act and get radar data. So we actually have radar data that could actually confirm that there was the Homeland Security plane was there. We did everything we could to verify that this was a legit case before we obviously went anywhere. And sure enough, and then recently, there's been a FOIA request made by a gentleman down in, writes by a column called The Void. And anyway, Billy Cox, he had put in a FOIA request to the Department of Homeland Security, and we actually we got confirmation that it is their aircraft. I mean, even though they've been mum about the whole thing, they haven't commented. We tried to get them to comment on it, and they wouldn't. They're trying to sweep it under the rug, and hopefully nobody will see it.
So okay. So back up again. So you're saying which aircraft are you saying is theirs? The one that did the footage, or the aircraft that's flying in the footage?
Oh no! The aircraft that was the Homeland of the Border Protection Patrol.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to confirm that. We got the video that showed that there was a plane up in the air, but at that point you don't know what kind of a plane it is. You don't know what kind of anything about it, right?
Okay, so it wasn't confirmed who actually did the footage, where that footage was coming from. Is that what I hear you saying?
Right. So we had to do all of the hard work to prove that, number one, was there really a Customs Border Protection plane that took off? And was he in the air on all those times that you see on the video? And then we were able to confirm that, yes, there was one that took off and was actually up in the air when we got the radar data. So, legit. It wasn't something that anybody hoaxed or faked or anything like that.
Got it. So, what did you perceive from this footage? And then what did you perceive or think about? What were your feelings or thoughts when you were investigating the project itself?
Well, I mean, first off, I've got, I'm totally impressed by the team that we had. I mean, the team that we had were made up of even, we have a physicist who worked on fusion reactors, and he was able to do an incredible amount of work. We have top-level mathematicians that were that was on board, and to me, that was the most impressive thing about this whole thing is that we have a good scientific team is trying to look at one of the videos that over the years, and this video is so significant because we rarely, if ever, get a government video. I mean, that doesn't come about. So the fact that we had that is impressive. The fact that we have this strange object that doesn't conform to anything that we know of, that's pretty compelling too. And we still haven't got any answers as to what it could be. I mean, there's nothing natural to fix.
So now, this footage, when it was given to you, was it given to you anonymous, or you knew the person that gave it to you, and then went from there?
So what happened was that apparently this flight crew, when they got back, was puzzled by what they had seen, and over a period of time, they tried to figure out, well, what do we do with this? And so they had the video, and they sent it up through their chain, and basically they didn't know what to do with it, and the Homeland Security people, and then they sent a copy to Air Force Intelligence, and the Air Force Intelligence came back and said, well, fine, thank you, but we're not doing UFOs anymore in the Air Force, and oh, by the way, and get a hold of a UFO group. So, bottom line is that they did, and eventually got a hold of one of the people that we know that told us about it. So it's kind of like worked its way that way. It was, and then the individual that we dealt with he also works for Homeland Security, also is on the Border Patrol, and he knows the pilot. And maybe some of the other crew members, I don't know, but anyway, he knows definitely for sure the pilot. And he was the one that presented it to us.
And so when he presented it to you, he didn't say where it was coming from. Is that what you were saying?
Well, no, he basically, we all had to sign non-disclosures.
Oh, wow.
It came from them.
Okay, now I understand.
So the whole team had to sign non-disclosure saying that we weren't allowed to talk about it, and we weren't allowed to reveal anything, at least for the period of time until we published it.
Right.
And so it's only after we published this thing that we've been able to talk about it. But his goal, and we still haven't, we aren't telling you what the witness's name is. They all want to remain anonymous, and we respect that.
So that's interesting to know all that. What's the bottom line with this whole experience with the whole case? Is it authentic? I mean, is the craft in the video and the footage from this planet, from somewhere else? I mean, what did you actually identify?
Well, it's basically, it's an object we guesstimate that's between 3 to 5 feet in diameter. It has apparently what doesn't appear to have any kind of propulsion system that we know. I mean, you don't see a jet stream coming out of a thing, and you don't see anything. The fact that it goes into the water like it does, and it continues to move under the water, and then it comes up and splits. There's nothing on Earth that we know of that does that. I mean, and so we're left with the fact, like you do with most UFO investigations that you get into, with an object And by the way, UFO term is just a very poor term because that's an unidentified flying object. Well, this is also an unidentified swimming object. So that's why we came up with we're calling it UAP, which is an unidentified anomalous phenomena, because we don't know because we're looking at this. We didn't see it in the visible range. We only saw it in the heat range. And, we know that there's the heat coming off of this thing, and we can measure that from the clip, but you don't know what it looks like, and you can't draw any kind of inferences about that. Apparently the heat structure changes shape enough that you can say, well, it's changing shape. We don't know what it is, and we looked at, likely sources. People have suggested it was a balloon at first, and that balloon doesn't split in two, and stuff like that. Somebody says it's a bird. Well, I've never seen a bird move at 85 miles an hour. If you show me one, I'd like to see that. Exactly. Then somebody suggested that it's a drone. Well, maybe it might be a drone, but it's a drone beyond capabilities that we know of, and that's where we are. We looked up, found out there were other objects like the Flimmer that the Navy was coming up with and designed where it could fly in the air and then suddenly become like a torpedo underwater. But it didn't come back up and split, Yeah. So that's where we're puzzled. And we really don't know. That's why it's an unknown. We don't know what this thing is.
So even now, to this day, it's still not identified as identified at all. I mean, period.
Until somebody can tell us what you can identify it as, it's still an unknown.
And now, to me, this is significant because I don't think I've seen any footage or anything where an object is flying in the air and then flying through the water too, and then back out of the water and then back into the air. I don't think I've seen anything like that before. So that's pretty. I think that's pretty significant as well. So anyhow, So what day are you speaking on? During the symposium?
I'll be speaking.
Go ahead.
I'm speaking on Saturday evening on the 27th of August.
Okay.
I'm the first one after dinner, so I got fine time slot.
Yeah, exactly. So you're really going to be going into detail of this case in more, so I'm assuming. And then so now, So what next for Rich Hoffman? What happens next after the symposium?
Well, regarding this case, or in general, I'm doing a lot. I do a lot with. I'm directing a lot in terms of trying to bring technology into play. We've got a lot of initiatives out there to be able to deploy cameras out to hotspots. So wherever there's like UFO activity that's ongoing, we're actually going to try and see if we can't stick out cameras and be able to record some of the objects in different visible light, infrared light, ultraviolet light, and other spectral ranges. So that's one project that I'm working on. And we're also trying to find out what we ought to have in the way of gear anyway in certain parts of the country to collect more data. Scientific data is very, very critical in this. And most of the camera videos we get are from people holding up their cell phones and shaking, and they're poor at night, and they don't do very good jobs at all. So that's why this particular case was extremely valuable, is that you've got a military grade camera that was seeing it. So anyway, so that's pretty much it. I mean, we're just continuing to push case quality improvements around and improving our field investigating work that we've got going on, and helping them to redesign the CMS database, our case management system database.
Got it. And then you talked earlier about doing some television shows as well, or series or something like that, or what's that all about?
Yeah, I know that we're going to be doing television at some point in the future again. I'm not sure when and where and stuff like that, but I'm helping out in terms of wherever I can. Like a couple of the shows and stuff like that I helped review in the early time frame and helped recommend some of the types of shows that we could put together. And but anyway, yeah, periodically I'm on also TV shows and radio shows all the time.
Right, right. And what about your local chapter in Alabama? What's that doing? And what's going on with that?
Well, we just had our meeting, and we basically we covered Canadian sightings. And I talked with a guy named Chris Witkowski, who was our guest, and he was giving us the update on Canada's sightings. The meeting before that, there was a documentary that was created by Robert Hastings on UFOs and nukes, and we kind of watched that show, which is excellent, an excellent documentary. Can't recommend it higher than that.
Got it.
The next episode, or the next month, we're going to be talking with Robert Powell. I think he's going to be one of your guests as well. But Robert's going to come on and talk about the top 10 cases of 2015 that me and Kim and others on the team actually went through and found. And so the science review board that we have evaluates and looks at those cases and makes a determination of which are the best cases. So he's going to be talking to us about that. So we've got a pretty active chapter. I mean, right here in Redstone Arsenal, we get a good number of them are actually scientists who helped build the Apollo space program. So we've got a lot of very, very technical people that actually come to the meeting as well. So, good stuff.
So, we got a couple minutes left. So, is there anything else that you want to put out there that we haven't talked about that you just want to say, put it out there for people to know?
Not that I'm aware of. I can't think of anything offhand. Generally, to me, it's like, again, I would say, hey, look, if you have an interest in doing anything with UFOs, we have a lot of volunteer positions that we have open, where we're looking for all kinds of people to be able to do something. If you really have an interest in this and you want to help you grow the organization, we would certainly appreciate it. Every time we get somebody, we get more improvements. We actually have now MUFON University. We have an online university where we train field investigators online now, as opposed to a whole lot of other things we've had in the past. And so we're gradually putting more and more courses up in that university to talk to them. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of other good initiatives. We've been partnering with a book company, so it allows us to be able to, you can actually go up and write your book, and they'll help you sell it. And so a lot of people that are interested in writing UFO books or something like that can have that assistance. And Jane's been working on getting that as well.
Nice.
So we're excited about doing a lot of different cool things. And again, volunteers are definitely needed, and donations we get from people are extremely important. But just even subscribing at the lowest level is helpful, because it puts money in the pocket for us to build that new database and get more information out there.
And expand even more, absolutely. So I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing your time and your expertise and your information with us, Rich. Again, if people want to, number one, that's a place to start if you want to get involved with MUFON. Attend the MUFON Symposium in Orlando, Florida in August. And then, of course, you can listen to Rich on Saturday, and then other speakers as well. And some of these we're going to be bringing on over the next couple of weeks, so you can listen to more of these people. And, I want to thank you for stopping by, Rich. All of you, thank you for stopping by. Have a God-Goddess week. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye. Your conference recording has stopped.
So now I've ended, are you still there, Rich?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I went ahead and stopped all the recordings, And we still got about 50, 55 minutes, and that's still plenty of time to do what we got.
Sure.
And I apologize. Like I said, I drive, my other job is I drive for Uber, and yesterday was a big day because they had a big beer festival here in town, and I don't know how many hours I drove, 13 hours at least. And I thought, well, I'll get some sleep and I'll get up and then I'll get going. But I got up and looked at the clock and it said 5 o'clock. I thought it meant 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought, well, I slept. I thought it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I said, heck, I'm going back to sleep. I'm tired, so I went back to sleep. and and it 7 o'clock. I go, what the heck? It's 7:30. What? Oh man, I missed my shit. So yeah, but we still got in. Like I said, 55 minutes. And I'll be putting this on YouTube, and I think it'll still be pretty much a full-fledged show. So for the most part. So. Any questions?
Yeah, all right.
Any questions? Anything like that?
No, I just, I managed to put out, a whole bunch of like things saying, oh, you guys listen in,
Yeah, and I did too, because I put out, because when I do these shows, I do a whole campaign. It takes me about 3 or 4 hours minimum to do all this, and then I do a whole campaign. I do a blast and put it on social media and all kinds of places. And yesterday, it went out to my email list, and then plus I put it out on the social media. And then, eventually, what happens, a lot of these people, I've been doing this for years, and a lot of these people will go back, they'll go back and they'll find it and they'll listen to it anyhow. So, they'll still listen to it sooner or later. So, anyhow. Well, if anything else, then maybe we'll meet, hopefully we'll meet in August, and I'll at least say hi, and then and be able to listen to your lecture live and in person, and go from there. So that'll be good too.
Very good.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rich. I appreciate it, and then we'll talk to you next time.
Okay, sir. You take care. Thank you now.
Aloha.
I'm here.
Let me know how you are doing. All right.
Stop that.